Imagine a place, a real-life metropolis, where you could walk into Superman's world, where a giant man of steel towers 20 stories high, welcoming you beneath his red boots. In the early 1970s, one small town dared to dream exactly that. Metropolis, Illinois is a quiet city on the Ohio River with barely 6,000 residents. But in 1972, it set its sights on something extraordinary, a $50 million Superman theme park spanning thousands of acres. They would call it the Amazing World of Superman. It was an ambitious vision, officially endorsed by DC Comics and the state of Illinois, as the town proudly proclaimed itself the home of Superman. Why would a town stake its future on a comic book hero? To understand, we need to take a step back into history, back to 1938, when the world first met Superman. Superman was born from the imaginations of two Depression-era teenagers, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. In Action Comics #1, they introduced a new kind of hero, a brightly costumed strongman who would leap over skyscrapers and shrug off bullets. This man of tomorrow arrived at a time when America sorely needed hope. The country was recovering from the Great Depression, and war loomed on the horizon. Superman rocketed to Earth from a doomed planet, raised by kindly farmers, using his powers for good. He was the ultimate immigrant success story, and a symbol of resilience. He quickly captured hearts nationwide. By the early 1940s, Superman leapt off the page into a hit radio show. Millions of children gathered around radios to hear the famous opening lines.
Look, up in the sky, it's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's Superman!
Those broadcasts cemented Superman's motto, truth, justice, and the American way, and turned him into a household figure. During World War II, Superman was an emblem of American ideals, appearing in war bond ads, urging kids to eat their vegetables and stay strong. He even took on real-world bigotry in a memorable 1946 radio storyline exposing the Ku Klux Klan, showing that this hero truly stood for everyone. After the war, Superman conquered television. In the 1950s, actor George Reeves donned the cape in Adventures of Superman, one of the first TV superhero series. To a generation of children, Reeves' warm smile and confident stance was Superman. By the 1960s and 70s, Superman's cultural footprint just kept growing. He headlined cartoons on Saturday mornings, from the Filmation shorts of the 60s to Super Friends in the early 1970s. Comic books bearing his logo sold in the millions around the world. For decades, Superman had been a constant, a beacon of hope in print and on air. In June of 1972, the Illinois House of Representatives passed Resolution 572, declaring Metropolis the official hometown of Superman. The resolution itself played along with Superman's lore, noting him as the battler for truth, justice, and the American way, leaper of tall buildings in a single bound, outspeeder of speeding bullets, changer of the course of mighty rivers. With DC Comics' blessing, Metropolis Mayor J.P. Williams had already staged a ceremony that January, complete with an actor wearing the Superman costume from the original 1950s television show. The message was clear. This little Midwestern town was staking its claim as the real-life metropolis, and it had big plans. The Amazing World of Superman theme park would have been like Disneyland for superhero fans. According to designs by famed comic book artist Neil Adams, visitors would literally drive between Superman's legs to enter beneath a 200-foot-tall statue of the Man of Steel. Inside, they'd find rides and attractions bringing to life every corner of Superman's legend. There were plans for a life-size Smallville street with Clark Kent's boyhood home. In one area, a futuristic dome inspired by Buckminster Fuller's designs would in-house a large bottle city of Kandor, a shrunken Kryptonian city from the comic books. A bizarro playground was conceived for kids, and a Voyage to Krypton ride would whisk visitors off to the alien birthworld of Superman. There would be fountains, a skating rink, and flags of all nations flying in tributes to Superman's global appeal. A moving sidewalk would lead awestruck guests to the Fortress of Solitude, where a glass-stained restaurant perched above would allow diners to literally eat above Superman's secret lair. The plan even included everyday amenities, a supermarket, hotel, a shopping mall, making Metropolis not just a theme park, but a living city devoted to the Man of Steel. It was, as one publication described it, a super park, truly a fitting monument to Superman. Local businessman Robert Westerfield, who first proposed the idea, saw it as a way to revive Metropolis's economy. By mid-1973, momentum was building. DC published a special Amazing World of Superman comic book souvenir, an oversized Treasury edition packed with Superman lore, just to hype up the upcoming park. Metropolis even opened a temporary exhibition center downtown to showcase a scale model of the park and concept art. Families who visited could buy Amazing World of Superman bumper stickers and memorabilia as they previewed the future. There was a genuine optimism in the air, a feeling that soon the fictional Metropolis and the real one might just become one and the same. By the end of that summer, the dream felt tangible. All they needed was to secure the massive financing and to begin construction. Metropolis was betting its future on the Man of Steel's broad shoulders. Nothing could go wrong, or so it seemed. However, in the real world, Superman was not immune to the forces of economics. In October of 1973, only months after the triumphant presentation, the OPEC oil embargo struck. Suddenly, gasoline was scarce and expensive across America. The idea of driving cross-country to a Superman theme park, as wonderful as it was, became impractical when people couldn't even be sure they have gas for a typical family road trip. The gasoline crisis of the early 1970s dramatically impacted tourism, notes comic historian Mark Englund, leaving many families unable to afford the long drive to play in the Bizarro playground or shop for groceries in the Amazing World of Superman market. As fuel prices skyrocketed and the nation slid towards a recession, the banks financing the project just got cold feet. There were other obstacles too. Crucially, the brand new interstate highway that was meant to funnel travelers right past Metropolis was delayed, raising doubts about the attendance. Construction deadlines kept slipping, and by early 1974, the grand vision began to unravel. Funders pulled out, and the work never progressed beyond the blueprints and models. After just about a year of dazzling imaginations, the Amazing World of Superman project was officially canceled. The citizens of Metropolis watched their 15 minutes of fame flicker out. It felt, as some later described, like kryptonite had struck their economic prospects. Metropolis, Illinois, the little town that tried to become the Metropolis, quietly returned to normalcy, its grand plan shelved alongside other early 1970s pipe dreams. The Amazing World of Superman theme park became one of those pop culture great what-ifs. In 1978, just 5 years later, Superman soared back into the cultural spotlight in a way that no one could have ever imagined. Hollywood released Superman the Movie, the first major superhero blockbuster, starring a then unknown Christopher Reeve as the Man of Steel. The film was a global sensation. Its taglines promised, "You'll believe a man can fly," and audiences truly did. Reeve's earnest, hopeful portrayal of Superman became an instant icon, and suddenly Metropolis, Illinois found itself back on the map. As the movie captivated millions, curious fans began contacting the little Illinois town that shared the hero's name. During the film's release, the Metropolis city office was flooded with phone calls asking, "Where is Superman's hometown? How can we visit?" The town that had lost its big chance in 1973 got an unexpected second win from Hollywood. Capitalizing on the resurgence of interest, Metropolis held its first Superman celebration in 1979. What began as a modest street festival, a gathering of comic book dealers, a Superman look-alike contest, maybe a local marching band, has since grown into a beloved annual tradition. Every June, thousands of fans from around the world descend on Metropolis for a long weekend of super-heroic festivities. Over time, Metropolis built permanent tributes that echoed parts of the original park vision, and in 1993, a new towering 15-foot bronze Superman statue was unveiled in the town square. At the statue's base, the words "Truth, Justice, and the American Way" were inscribed. And then there's the Super Museum, a veritable treasure trove of everything Superman, with over 70,000 items of Superman memorabilia. The museum even occupies a site near where the theme park's entrance was once imagined, a nod to the past, housing the legacy of a hero that still inspires the future. The story of the Amazing World of Superman theme park is ultimately a chapter in the larger saga of Superman's legacy. Superman didn't get his physical amusement park in the early 1970s, but his mythos has continued to soar, inspiring new media, new interpretations, and new dreams for over 85 years. The Man of Steel has proven again and again that he is truly super, not just in strength, but his ability to endure, adapt, and uplift. Through the decades, Superman has remained one of the best-selling and most recognized superheroes of all time. His shield is instantly recognizable worldwide. He has been a symbol of American ideals, a figure of justice, an immigrant icon, a big brother, and a beacon of hope, all rolled into one. Batman might be more brooding, Spider-Man more quippy, but Superman at his best represents aspiration, the desire to always do the right thing, to help others, to inspire hope even when things seem dark. The Amazing World of Superman theme park was a bold dream that fell victim to real-world troubles, yet in a poetic way, its spirit has taken flight far beyond concrete and steel could ever build. The nostalgia and hope that fueled that theme park plan now echo in the annual cheers at the Superman celebration, in the proud bronze statue watching over Superman Square, the smiles of locals who kindly direct visitors to the Super Museum, and every fan who makes the pilgrimage to this small town. The heart of that canceled park beats on. Today, as we look into the future with a brand new Superman film soaring into theaters from 1938 to 2025 through radio and television, through theme park dreams and festival realities, the last son of Krypton continues to speak to the best of us. Superman stands for the belief that we can build a brighter world. The Amazing World of Superman theme park, in all of its optimistic glory, was a product of that belief, and while it never materialized in brick and mortar, its legacy lives on in every hopeful story and every fan gathering. If this story inspired you, moved you, or made you just say, wow, I never knew that, then don't forget to give this video a like. It helps more fans discover lost history of heroes like Superman. Subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into pop culture history, theme park what-ifs, and stories that shaped our childhoods. And be sure to hit that bell icon so you never miss a video. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, look to the sky.